Let's see some of my favorite YouTubers. What are they saying? What do you think your boy Ben is going to say? Not your boy, but the fuckboy himself.
First of all, let me just clear up what Heero says. That was definitely tongue in cheek from Heero. Heero knows that 4 years ago I kind of started listening to Ben Shapiro because it's like, oh, he's a very factual guy. And then as I listened to him, I was like, this guy's freaking out of touch. He does not relate to anybody that doesn't look like him at all. And so, I mean, he's got a few people that he can relate to, but for the common man, this dude's he's on the spectrum and he just can't do it anyway. He is probably going to toe the line. He actually, he might be objective enough to say it. Like Tim Pool right now, I've been watching him. Tim Pool just posted a video about 15 minutes ago. We beat Tim Pool to the punch. Can you believe that? Tim Pool's got him. 2 channels with over 1 million followers. Shout out to Tim Pool, but he has been slightly. Hold on, Joe didn't win the election. He robbing it.
Who is it?
That's my boy Jay. He said that. Yeah, I think. I don't know. Unless this whole thing, and I don't want to talk. I'm not going to talk. I'm Heero. We're going to talk offline about this thing that I saw floating around on one of these radical websites about this whole election and the ballots and all the kind of doohickeys they got with the ballots. And so before we come out and start talking about it, like me and Heero don't like to come unprepared. We'll be bringing y'all breaking information, but I will definitely, y'all gonna hear from us on this conspiracy theory at this point that I think it is. So, unless you want to talk about it now.
I mean, do we need a disclaimer?
Yes. So let me give a disclaimer. This is Eric. That's Heero. The thoughts and the statements you're about to hear are purely conjecture at best and conspiracy theory at worst. And so we will not be held responsible for this information. You do with it what you will. It has not been corroborated. I have not seen it in any legitimized news source. So having said that, here is the information. There is a guy, I don't know how to pronounce his last name. I will type it.
It's Russian.
No, it's probably some kind of Scandinavian last name, but his name is Steve P-I-E. Hold on, let me just look it up. I've already Googled it before because somebody sent me the video. Steve Pienznik. Pieczenik. And I'm gonna copy his name for y'all.
Can I just talk about how happy people? This is for the first time for mass group of people to be showing up and just cheering. It's a sight to see, man.
Do they have? I'm gonna come back to the feed. They better have on masks.
They all have masks on. I'm like, I'm looking like a hawk.
Man,
I'm looking like a hawk.
I'm for lack of a better, I am for lack of a better term, a mask Nazi. I don't like people not wearing their mask. I don't like it at all. Especially because one thing about me, if y'all don't know about me, I love old people. And I hate that this is affecting old people. Mm. I have some of the best conversations I've ever had in my life. I had with old people. My grandmother's huge influence in my life. So if she was still alive, God rest her soul, and somebody was around her without a mask, throat freaking jab. No whammies. No whammies. So I'm just letting y'all know. So I just dropped the name in the chat. Feel free to Google this guy. Again, he's decorated, but apparently he was saying and this to me is right now, at best, a conspiracy theory. Or at worst, a conspiracy theory. At best, just kind of conjecture. But at the end of the day, he's saying that Trump knew this was going to happen in the election. So what he did to be able to prove that there was some kind of voter fraud was to create a ballot that was had a watermark that was not visible to the eye, had a radioactive isotope in it, and it also had blockchain technology in it. So they're able to GPS track every single ballot, allegedly, and be able to prove the real ones from the fake ones, allegedly. So
But you know what else we had that could do that? The barcodes on the ballots.
exactly. So here's what I'm saying. The reason why, if this comes out and he says that yes, I marked all these ballots this way, and I'm going, and apparently this Steve, however you pronounce his name, says Attorney General Bill Barr has dispatched 20,000 agents to 12 states to look over every single ballot. They have the technology to see if the radioactive isotope is present and the unseen watermark is present. And if it is not, it will be tossed out, no matter whose name is on it. So I hope, I hope for the Democrats' sake that in several of these swing states where Joe Biden won by a narrow margin, that there was no shenanigans going on, because what that's going to do is open the door for Donald Trump to sue. It will go to Supreme Court. And if it happened in multiple states, it's enough of a reasonable doubt for some of this stuff to be overturned. I'm just throwing that out there as a possibility. I don't think that is going to happen. And again, like I said, this is just some story from, at this point, albeit he may be decorated, but it still sounds like a whacked out idea. I don't
on Breitbart at that, or what channel was it?
It was on InfoWars.
InfoWars.
So that's why I didn't want to shout them out.
So, do you know Michael Raptor, the comedian? Well,
I don't know very many comedians.
Shout out to Dave Chappelle, who doesn't need a shout out, but he's on Netflix now. I'm interested to see what Trump's response is going to be with all these people in front of the White House. I'm turning up.
And I think there will be a lot of distrust in polling and surveying, and there's going to have to be some recalibration on what that looks like.
That's a great point that they made up. From this day forth, I never want to hear anything about polling again.
Yes, the polls were off. Drastically off. I don't trust anything these people say. Like, Trump was supposed to, like, there was supposed to be a blue wave, and I mean, this is like, as my mom said, a skin of your teeth victory.
Absolutely. My number's in the corner. Y'all see what I was guessing back then. That's my number. I put that up on Sunday, so there was no place for me to hide. You feel me? If I was wrong, if I was right, there was no place for me to hide.
308 for Joe and how much for Trump? 220?
230 for Trump.
Yeah.
So
well,
I mean, I was
far off. It's not far off.
Oh man, but you know that doesn't come from me polling. That comes from me doing what? Seeing which states are most flippable. Now I had a big dream. Texas was going to flip. But that was with Texas flipping. But in my dream, we didn't have we didn't have Michigan, Wisconsin, or Nevada.
Just focus on Nebraska being a.
Hey, Nebraska gave us one vote, baby.
Don't worry about Texas. Texas can stay forever red. Texas can stay red until I get my second passport. Then the hell with it after that.
We got one vote for Nebraska. Hey, I did my job. I came here, I wrecked shop, and I got the job done. Your boy Jesse, if there's any major voter fraud, I'll need proof. Yeah, if there's proof, I'll accept it. Otherwise, I'm sorry. I'm tired of hearing fraud shouted out by like I get you, Jesse, and that's the thing. Like, I literally had someone send me a link from Africa saying that in Africa they are being told that Trump really won, and that they have a parade going for him. And I just had to tell this person, like, I appreciate this comment, but if you check the timestamp, it's from 2016. And this is not strange. Every third world country is going to appease to the big boss in charge because that's where their money and their check is going to be coming from for the foreseeable future. So It's a big dream. You're absolutely right, Doc. Like the fraud, like Trump's objective was to stress out the mail system so that these trickle-in votes could then be stopped at some point in order to then make this argument. He has systematically sabotaged everything up to this point with the hope and the prayer that his sabotage would help him delay these votes. There's an illegal vote. What is an illegal vote in this scenario? Like, Trump has not, no one, even the Philadelphia Republican Party were laughed off of the stage by the common folks. There's been internal fraud, and those simple one question: do you have any proof? You can tell by the fact they're not letting us watch you count. Well, you can't go in there because of COVID, but the plexiglass wall is literally within arm's reach. You're closer to them than 6 feet with this glass than you would be if you were actually in the room. Because in the room, everyone has to stay 6 feet apart. Well, can we examine the machine? Well, no, because you see that seal? That was done by the Secretary of State Corps engineers, meaning they were the last people to seal it. That's a chain of command. That's a chain of evidence. Like, they are showing a bogless, mindless sense of self-indulgence to ignore facts. And it's coming from, and you notice who hasn't said a goddamn word? Mike Pence. Mitch McConnell.
What's he gonna say? What
Mitch McConnell.
You know why?
The people who have to separate, the people who still have a job.
Exactly. Exactly what I say. I said they hitched their wagon to this dude, so now it's time to Michael Jackson moonwalk.
Man, walk it back. It's just mindless. And the people who are panicked are the people who are looking for safe faith. All the people who hitched the wagon onto them, they gotta ride this Oregon wagon to the bottom of the canyon.
Seems like every night, don't care who's wrong or right. I hope the end is sight. Slow it down and we can catch the vibes.